All right, Tim. Thank you so much for joining me once again. In today's video, we're going to talk about Toto in the 90s. This is kind of a special period of Toto for me because I've always really liked the 90s of Toto. There are many bands like legacy artists and stuff like that that in the 90s kind of lost some of their not maybe identity, but many bands changed a lot, and many of their albums in the 90s doesn't hit as hard as maybe their 80s or 70s output. So, but I think Toto is an exception to that. I love their stuff in the 90s. Like, I think Kingdom of Desire is such a great album where you have Steve Lukather on vocals on all the songs except the instrumental, of course, and also on the Tambu album. Like it's such a great period for me at least, and I really like these albums. So maybe we can start like as an overview. What do you think of this whole period, Tim?
Well, as somebody that lived through it, I mean, the '90s was a rough time for a lot of, legacy bands, a lot of melodic rock bands with the advent of grunge in Seattle and alt rock coming in, and also, lots of other things too. Like a lot of industry politics were happening in the case of Toto. If anybody's ever read Steve Lukather's book, I mean, the head of CBS or Columbia Sony in the US just kind of had it in for them. So that's why some of their album releases in the States were either delayed or they were put out on a different label, or they just didn't get the shot that they could have had. Not that, not that necessarily that they would have had continued to have hits, but what happened with Toto is that they became even if their star sort of had started to fade, in North America, um, around the world, they became this huge band where they're still to this day, and whatever, with Steve and Joseph Williams, they're still able to tour all over the world and get these huge crowds. So their music just became very global. And there's some examples of that. Like there's a couple live albums that they've put out, but um, yeah, really strong. Now I think that the '90s got off to a shaky start for them, but that was a lot of that record company interference. Um, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I think for the most part, and then by the end of the '90s, you have the return of Bobby Kimball, and so the it just solidified the band. I totally agree with you about Kingdom of Desire, and we'll get into that more. But yeah, overall, it was a time. The music for the most part was very strong, and lots of songs that should have been very popular and more popular than they were. There's some fantastic songs on these albums, and yeah, it's worth talking about because a lot of people, this era passed a lot of people by. I'm afraid.
Yeah, yeah, and that's very unfortunate because I think that the two albums that were really Steve Lukather dominated in the vocal. What should I say? In the not section, but in the vocal parts of
Well,
it.
taking the majority of the lead vocals, and there's a good reason for that too.
Yeah,
They were
I
having
think,
a lot of issues with
and I
singers.
think both those albums are kind of overlooked because of that. Because many fans got back into Toto when Bobby Kimball returned. So some of these albums where Steve Lukather is the dominant force, I think some people were like, this is not Toto anymore, stuff like that. So yeah, but maybe we could start out with the first album in this video. So we're gonna talk about Past the Present.
Yeah.
If that's you have the CD there, I have it up there. So this was the album. This was like a greatest hits album, but it had four new songs on it, and it featured singer Jean-Michel Byron, and he is very different vocally to like David Page, Steve Lukather, Bobby Kimball, Fergie Fredrickson, all the previous singers, even Steve Porcaro, like very different in the style, but I think it actually fits very well. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I really like these four songs. I'm a huge fan of them. I know you don't like them that much. There's a lot of people that don't like them, and I know the record company tried to like force this down our throats with him as a singer. And I know that the band members weren't too enthusiastic about it also, but I think it actually kind of worked, and it's a nice one-off thing. So he wasn't even featured on a main album. This is just like a greatest hits with 4 new songs. So, but I think "Love Has Power" is it's a great opener to the album, and you get the flavor of the new stuff. And yeah, I think it's a great upbeat song. Maybe it's a bit too long. It drags on for a bit. There's kind of this like jammy section at the end, and I think you could have skipped that. I know there's like a compilation album in like the 2000s, maybe 2003 or six, somewhere in between there. Did like European remixes of "Love Has the Power," "Out of Love," I think, and "Can You Hear What I'm Saying?" And they kind of changed them a bit and made them shorter, more tighter. And I actually prefer the versions on there. I think they're very, very good, especially "Love Has the Power," because it's way too long on this album. So I think that's a good version to check out if you haven't heard it. It's really good. And I think Byron's vocals are very good. I think he has a great voice. And even though it's kind of different in the style, I think it fits Toto. So, yeah, first song, I think it's really good. What do you think about the opener for this one?
I'm just not big into any of these new songs, really. I mean, he's a perfectly good singer, but he's a pop R&B singer. He
Yeah.
totally doesn't fit. Now, I say totally doesn't fit. He fits aspects of Toto because Toto do have a lot of R&B, and a lot of that in them. I mean, he would be somebody that I could hear singing, if we're going to go back into the old catalog, I could hear him singing something like Waiting for Your Love and
Mhm.
just nailing it, or even Georgie Porgy. Uh, but my understanding is that his sort of stage antics uh, didn't endear him to the band either, and it was a total record company thing. I mean, the sad thing is that for a lot of years, this was the only officially released Best of Toto compilation, and to me, it's just marred by these four songs that do not they just don't make any sense in context of those classic songs. But um it's just it's stylistically, I just think it's a bridge too far. um I get what they're doing, and obviously it's Toto, so it's just immaculately played. I just think it was a case of, to me, it has nothing to do with the abilities of the musicians. It's to me the mixture doesn't work. It's like when Paul Rogers and Queen did that album. I don't like that album at all. I love Queen, and Paul Rogers is fantastic. I didn't like them together.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. But I think actually the next song, "Out of Love," is really, really good. A good ballad, a more slow tempo song. I think Byron's vocals on this is very, very good. You have the like slower, quieter parts, and then it really ramps up, and it's very emotional song. And I think it's really, really good. And also, Steve Lukather has a great, great guitar solo in this song also. So if you haven't listened to it for a while, I think the guitar solo in this is really, really good. And the vibe of it kind of reminds me of "I Won't Hold You Back" from Toto 4 a little bit. So yeah, I think this also is a good song. So I like it, but a song like "Can You Hear What I'm Saying" is more like this anti-war peace. We should have peace in the world. This kind of cliche type of song. Also, "Love Has the Power." The lyrics are not great. I can admit to that. These four songs, the lyrics are not great. I think the performances are really strong, but the lyrical content is a bit cheesy. I feel like so. So what do
Love
you think
has
of
the
these two songs?
power. Love is the power, it's strong as a tower. Like that, come on. That's a bad rhyme, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Out of Love is the best of the four songs, I think. I think Out of Love is the most Toto of them. It's a totally a song, like that's the one song of these four that I wish they'd re-recorded and Luke had just done the vocals, because it sounds like something that he would sing anyway. Like it's in that style of, yeah, like you said, I Won't Hold You Back, Without Your Love. I mean, it sounds like a Steve Lukather Toto ballad, or type of song, and it is a great solo. I
Mm.
agree. It's interesting. Three of the four songs, and actually the three songs you mentioned that were remixed, they were all singles
Yeah,
throughout the world.
yeah,
Animal is the only one that wasn't. Yeah, with songs like "Love Is a Power," can you hear what I'm saying? I get what they were going for. I just don't think the hooks are strong enough. They just don't. They miss the mark, and that's very unlike Toto because normally they can craft these songs. There's some outside writers on some of these songs too, which might have something to do
mm,
with it. But the whole thing to me just kind of just it just smacks of record company meddling. I
yeah,
mean, Toto at this point, they weren't that different from a lot of other bands their era. They were struggling a little bit, but I mean, they more than proven that on their own they could come up with hit singles. So let them do what they do, and who knows? The results wouldn't have been any different. And they certainly wouldn't have been any worse. So
mm,
I think of the four songs, I think "Out of Love" to me is the only salvageable one.
yeah, yeah. What do you think of Can You Hear What I'm Saying?
Completely unmemorable,
Yeah.
completely unmemorable. I think, and it's funny because I have a 45 to that, and the B side I think is "Hold the Line," and it's like it's not even fair.
Yeah,
It's not even fair to put. It's like you put one of those songs, and that's the other thing when you hear these songs next to the classic songs within the context of this album, they just don't stand up. I mean, they're instant skips for me. Like to me, this is a 9 song album.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and also
I'm
like
glad that I'm glad they put out better comps over the years.
yeah, and also like the production is kind of jarring when you compare to the older stuff. Here you have this more bass heavy sound, more modern production. Then you have these older
It's
70s and 80s. So and you have to like adjust the volume up and down, at least on my system,
yeah.
because it's really
No,
inconsistent in the
you're
sound.
right. Yeah. It is jarring. It almost would have been, you know, I don't know if it would have made a difference if they'd have just stuck the 4 songs at the beginning and say, "Hey, here's where we're at now. Here's where or at the end,
At
so
the
it would
end
have
would work
literally
better.
been past to present."
Yeah, yeah,
But
that would work better actually to when you have past present as the title of the album, you have the years at the bottom, 1977 to 1990, and you could have the songs in chronological order. So you could start off with the self-title and then move on and have these new songs at the end. I think that would have worked better.
I think, yeah, I really do, and I mean, I've got other criticisms of this too. I mean, I think they should have put "Stranger in Town" on it. They should
Oh
have put
yeah,
it something from "Turn Back." I mean, it's missing songs, right?
yeah,
They should have put "Make Believe" on here. Um, but hey, I mean, I guess when you've had as many hits as they have, if you just want a single hits collection, then you keep it. The best thing about this album is that when I was just getting into Toto, this was the first time I heard "Stop Loving You," and that became one of my favorite songs of theirs. But yeah, the new songs are just I've tried, I've gone back, and to me it just doesn't it sounds like Toto or the guys in Toto doing a session for songs by Jean-Michel Byron.
yeah.
It sounds more like they're session players on their own song as opposed to putting their own stamp on it, right? It sounds more like a session gig to me than actual Toto songs. It's almost like they might as well have put 4 Boz Scaggs songs on here or something,
Yeah, and if
which would
you
have made more sense because David Pace wrote a lot of those.
yeah, and if you look at the writing credits, Byron is a part of I think all the songs. So
Yeah,
yeah, he definitely had a hand in the lyrical
yeah.
content. But as
Which
you
is
said,
good
they had
because,
outside writers also. So
yeah, yeah, John Capac and like it's just it doesn't make and I think that's why Out of Love stands head and shoulders above it because it's just Lukather and Byron on it. So
yeah,
that's why it sounds so much like a song for him. Even the way that Byron sings it, those vocal phrasings, you can hear that when Luke wrote it, he had him like that's the way he would sing it,
yeah,
even though he's got a different kind of vocal range. But yeah, just it's definitely an interesting period in their career, and maybe this was the point they had to get to before they kind of put their feet down and said, "Enough, we want to do what we do."
mm. So they really had enough. of looking for new vocalists. So that's
Well, it's,
probably why they just said, "Okay, Steve, you do the vocals because you've
well,
done so many songs throughout the years. You have a great voice.
yeah,
The fans recognize it. It's typical Toto stuff. You just do it." So
yeah.
yeah,
They'd had, I mean, when you think about it, they'd had at least 6 years of turmoil with singers
yeah,
because, when Bobby had to leave, um, he wasn't the singer on all of their hits, but when you've got that, he's the guy out front, right? He was the guy that didn't play an instrument, and you've lost the guy that sang "Hold the Line," most of Rosanna, um, and that really hurt them. And we talked about this before. I absolutely love Isolation, but Fergie's voice was very, very different. He didn't work out on tour. He had lots of vocal issues. They kind of solidified with Joseph Williams. In between that, though, I mean, they were auditioning. I mean, Richard Page from Mr. Was offered the gig. He didn't take it because his band was taking off at the time. Eric Martin, who went on to Mr. Big, was offered. Luke was really pushing hard for him to get the gig, which would have been interesting because he's a great singer. Joseph was great, but he had his substance abuse issues, and they had to get rid of him. So it's like they're right back where they started from. Although, like you said, Toto, unlike a lot of other bands, they did have the advantage of having, you had, for some reason, this is when David Page backed away from doing a lot of lead vocals, and I don't know
yeah,
why, because I always liked his voice. I think if you'd have had Page and Lukather like split the vocals, it might have sounded more like Toto to the average fan, but you're right. I mean, yeah, Steve sang 99. He sang I Won't Hold You Back. He sang the verses in Roseanne. He sang I'll Be Over You, Without Your Love. Big hits, hits for the band. And I don't he's always said I it was never my choice to front Toto. I never wanted to do that, but we just decided to just get, the four of us and say, let's just do an album and I'll sing the songs and then we don't have to think about it.
yeah. And the interesting thing you said that they were in turmoil for a bit there. Bobby Kimball was supposed to return in 1990.
That's
So
right.
going
Yep.
home, this opener of Toto XX or Toto 20, whatever you want to call it, that was written in 1990. If you look at the
Yeah.
credits, it says
Yeah.
1990. But he got kicked out of the band again. Was it because of his substance abuse
Yeah, he
or what was
wasn't
it?
my understanding is that he still hadn't kicked his habits at the
Yeah,
point, and also they submitted that song. It's a great song, we'll talk about that when that we get to that album.
yeah,
It's a great song, and it's very Toto,
yeah,
and it sounds to me like the song that they would have needed to put out to cross into the '90s because it is a little bit more rocky. It's very up-tempo, and yet it's very catchy. The record company said, "No, we have another idea." And oh,
yeah,
what a great idea it was, right? So it's not like they weren't trying to get back to their classic sound,
yeah,
but just circumstances were not in their favor. And unfortunately, they would only get worse.
yeah. Like imagine they actually finished the recording of that and did it in 1990 and released that as a new song on Past the Present and used that
Oh,
as the opener. That would have worked much better.
I would have loved to have heard an album's worth of material that strong come
Yeah,
out at
yeah,
that time.
yeah. And we will get to it, but that album, Toto XX, I'm really surprised that most of those songs were not used. Like those are such great songs on that album.
Sizzle, I always think when you hear an album like that, that is of sort of like outtakes and like Def Leppard retroactive
Yeah,
or you know it's like wow, like how good are you when you can say yeah, that's not quite us at our best, and meanwhile the fans hear it go, what are you talking about, that's a hit. So and sometimes it's a case of they're too close to it, but then I think they need a little time to go back, so that is actually pretty good.
yeah, yeah. I can't still can't believe that Ring of Fire wasn't on Hysteria. I just
Oh my, what a great
so
song. Yeah, the song I Want to Be Your Hero could have been a single
yeah,
too. I mean, yeah,
such
that
great songs.
but also I think sometimes a band will go, yeah, but those are old songs.
Yeah,
We want to write new songs, old, 3, 4 years old. They don't want to be seen as, oh, well, you haven't got any new ideas. You're just recycling. But that never stopped a band like Van Halen because Van Halen would use songs they wrote back in their club days throughout their career, throughout their albums, or even if not just bits of them.
Yeah. Yeah, just for completion, let's talk about the last song, Animal, just on Past the Present. What do you think of this one? I think it kind of has this groovy kind of rhythm to it. What do you think? I like the bass line.
Honestly, I can't even think how that goes right now.
Yeah,
It made no impression on me, and I think that speaks to the fact that that is the one song uh, of the four new songs that wasn't a single,
yeah,
because I can't even think of how it goes. Um, at least the other ones, whether what I think of them or not, I can get the hook of the song in my head, but that one's utterly unmemorable to me.
yeah, yeah. I could
And I
agree to
think the
that.
band felt, I mean, that's the last song on the album, so they couldn't have thought it was all that strong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah, I kind of like it. I like all four of those songs, but I'm probably in the minority there. So yeah, but
You're
good stuff.
actually, and honestly, you're the first person I've talked to that has anything good to say about those songs.
Interesting,
It's
interesting.
they're usually everybody just kind of like, oh, those four new songs.
Yeah,
But no, that's good. I mean, obviously, it's everybody hears stuff differently, but I don't think that was. I don't know if Columbia was or this one. Why can't I think of his name? Oh, Jimmy Ienner. I don't know if he was trying to sabotage them, but I just don't think it was a smart career move. But what do you do when your record company and you're they're kind of holding all the cards, right? And you're like, well, I mean, we need them to get our albums out into stores, so we better listen to them at least. But I don't think this was the way to do it.
yeah. You also have to remember, like, I'm much younger than you are, and I'm a different generation. So I come from from a whole other perspective. So when
Oh
I
yeah,
first heard these songs, they were like old songs. You were there at the
yeah,
time. You experienced the disappointment of the release and everything, and I get that. And that kind of follows you through the years. You remember that initial feeling when it was released. I don't have that. So I
yeah.
discovered these songs the same time as I maybe discovered King of Desire or any other album. So
I get it. I get it. Yeah, you
yeah,
get back into a band, even if it's a band that you knew about. When you're getting into them the first time and hearing a bunch of stuff, that these are just a bunch of songs you've never heard before,
yeah,
and those four songs would just be four of those. It's very different than hearing it in real time.
yeah,
I've talked about this before. I know you're not overly familiar with Kiss, but in 1981 they put out an album called Music from the Elder, or sometimes it's just called The Elder. Very controversial album in their career. Some people love it, some people hate it. I happen to be one of the ones that like it. It's kind of a concept album. It was very, very different for them. But because I didn't get into the band until 93, again, I'm hearing a bunch of this stuff all at once. So I like that album for what it is. But if I'd been anxiously waiting for a new album and that was what came out, I don't know if I like it or not. So sometimes it makes a difference. It really does. And then sometimes you just need to give it some albums and some songs need time to grow on you. But I don't think these four Toto songs are going to grow on me. It's not like I haven't tried, but like I said, Out of Love is decent, and it was obviously something that they needed to go through to get to what I think is one of their best albums.
yeah, and we will get to that right now. So this is
Yeah.
the album King of Desire. I love how different this album is to the rest of the Toto catalog. This is definitely the heaviest Toto album. Definitely. So I don't really think about Toto being a heavy band at all. They have some
No.
songs here and there that are really rocking, but this album has some really, really like hard rocking stuff. Also has ballads and some softer stuff, but I like the production of this also. It's kind of more harsh, guitar driven. Really, really like it. And I think Gypsy Train is a great opener and it really sets the mood for the album and the style. I really, really like this one. And also, like, you instantly hear like Steve's voice. Dang, he has some more rasp in his voice. If you listen to like the back catalog of Toto and you listen to songs like 99 and Georgie Porgy, I Won't Hold You Back, he has kind of more of a softer voice. This album it really shows another side of Steve Lukather's vocals. and I really, really enjoy it. So, and I don't think you really did that again. Maybe some stuff on Tambu, but this really is an outlier in the total catalog, and I really enjoy it. So what do you think about the first track, Gypsy Train?
I love it. I love it. I love the sort of offbeat because it's like a shuffle, but it's the snare drum when it first comes in, it's not where you expect to hear it. Oh, I love the production on this album. It's a very it's much tougher than people were used to hearing from Toto. And actually, I know I've talked to people that actually don't like this album because it is so guitar driven and has such a different production. But to me, it's not that different. Like you said, there are ballads and mid tempo songs on here, but it's the way that the songs were recorded. But I just think this album is spectacular. Um, the whole album, but I mean, Gypsy Train is a great lively opener, and yeah, I mean, it's a great showcase for Steve Lukather. Obviously, always a great guitar player, but as a vocalist, I've always liked his voice. I've always thought he was a perfectly good singer. You know, the thing about Toto is that they also had they would write songs that would sort of require that high tenor vocal, and Steve's not a high tenor. You need somebody with a naturally higher range, but he does a good job in that medium range. And because they're all new songs, they're all written to fit his voice. Yeah, I just think to me this is just one great tune after another, and Gypsy Train is you're it's like literally you're getting on board for a heck of a ride.
Yeah,
Love it.
and I think the next song, Don't Shame My Heart, is like one of the highlights of the album. There's definitely another song that I like more, but I think this is a really, really great song. And I like the beginning with the bass. Do, 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 do. I just love that part. And yeah, just Steve's voice throughout the album. I could say this about every song. It just sounds really, really good. More raspiness in the voice. I really like that part. And yeah, really catchy song too. Like the chorus is really catchy in this, and I like the background vocals also
Yeah,
during the chorus.
yeah, yeah,
Where they kind of like answer what is Steve singing and
yeah,
everything. I
yeah.
like that.
Call and
So yeah,
response.
so it's really good song. What do you think about Don't Shake My Heart?
Oh, it's great. I mean, this was a single, and it actually got some radio play.
Yeah,
I remember hearing this. And I think it was just the right song to get them back on the airwaves. This is this kind of thing that should have come out in 1990. Um, I like it. It's rock. It's good mid tempo, but it's catchy. And Steve sings with some attitude on this song. It kind of the tempo of it, the beat always reminded me a little bit of Brian Adams' "Can't Stop This Thing We Started," which I love. It's got that dum, 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 dum. So I don't know if they were saying, well, we need a song that's something like that, but whatever it is, it works. Great, you know, this is a good this album's a good showcase for Mike Porcaro on bass too. Like, he really shines on this album. Yeah, I agree. Like the background vocalists are a good idea because it does expand the vocal ranges, and they would really explore that on Tambu. But no, I think Don't Chain My Heart is great. I mean, yeah, I can see why, it was the first single. They did a video for it. It's got a lot of commercial potential. It didn't chart very high, but it did get somewhere. But no, it's just a great song. It's great. And it's kind of a harder rocking song, but it's got some great piano from David Page. Like, just love it. Yeah.
yeah,
Great classic sounding Toto song.
yeah. And it would be blasphemy if we didn't mention that this is the last album with Jeff Porcaro on drums.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, I can still remember listening to the radio when that was announced.
Yeah,
He was only 38, and it was
yeah,
so unexpected.
yeah,
Um, and But you know what? I'm really glad that he went out. Like his last recorded output with Toto was such a strong album. I'm glad it wasn't those four new songs on Past to Present.
yeah,
But I mean, as obvious, I mean, as always, just a master musician, one of the best drummers ever. But yet plays for the song.
yeah,
Like if you listen to "Don't Change My Heart," it doesn't sound flashy. It's actually pretty complicated, what he's doing with the hi hats but it doesn't sound. He makes it sound easy. When it's time to jam, they jam. But he was so good at playing for the songs when they
yeah,
called for it, and
yeah,
I think every song on here you can pick out some drum parts that are just masterful.
yeah, yeah. Now, next song, Never Enough. I really like this too. There are very few songs on this album that I don't like. Love this
Yeah,
one. And the guitar part is just,
great riff. Get great guitar riff.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So good. So yeah, really like this one. This also has kind of this aggressive kind of Steve vocal to it too. Oh, as you
yeah.
said, he has kind of attitude on this album. I think especially on this song, it's just really,
Yeah.
really good. What do you think about this one?
Oh, I love it. It's a really hard rocking song. This one was co-written with, as he would have a lot of times, he wrote this was co-written with Fee Waybill of the Tubes. And I don't know what the difference is, but it just when they write songs together, they're usually quite good. And I'm not really that familiar with the Tubes, but I know Steve Luca, they're co-wrote and played on two of their biggest songs, "Talk to You Later" and "She's a Beauty," and those are good songs. But yeah, this is great. And it's like I said, it's not heavy, it's harder rocking for
Yeah,
Toto,
yeah,
but this still has it's got the horns, it's got, it's got all of the Toto trademarks. It's very guitar driven. And
yeah,
this song, it's just great. And I love the is this the one where they kind of change at the end there? It goes into the da 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 da
yeah,
da da da. Like
yeah. This is the
it's
one.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's really good. I also like the keyboards in this song too.
Yeah.
During the chorus. So yeah. So yeah, I love the chorus in this one and oh say at the end of the chorus. Really good song and slower tempo song, but really melodic. And I really like this one too. And it kind of goes into also Two Hearts, which is a ballad, a more slow tempo song too. I also think this is a highlight of the album. I love Two Hearts. Again, Steve in this song more of what should I say, not sensitive, but a more soft vocal approach to this one. And yeah, really enjoy it too. So Two Hearts is a really, really good song also. Yeah. What do you think about these two?
Think How Many Times is my favorite song on the album ultimately. I
Oh,
think. I
okay.
think. I love the fact that it's heavy, it's a drop D tuning, but yet it's got that Toto groove.
Yeah.
Like it's just a great, the drums are amazing, but it's melodic. It's got that chorus that just opens up.
Mm,
Um, oh, I just love How Many Times. It's one of my, yeah, if it's not my favorite, it's definitely one of my favorites in this album. And Two Hearts should have been a huge hit single.
yeah.
That's a power ballad for, the lighter waving crowds. I mean, that should have been a top 10 single at least.
Yeah.
You can really hear, I mentioned Richard Page from Mr. Mister. You can really hear him on the background vocals here. But yes, Steve, great passionate vocal from him. And the guitar playing is not flashy on this song because like all of these guys know when to play and when not to overplay. That's why they were, such prolific studio musicians, because they were the guys. They knew what to do. They knew just what a song called for, whether it was their song or somebody else's song. So yeah, to me, that's a 1-2 punch of two of the best songs on the album.
Interesting. Something I forgot to mention about How Many Times. As you said, it has this really nice guitar rhythm to it. But in the verses, Steve's voice is this more aggressive kind of vocal approach to it. And then when you get to the chorus, it's much softer. So you kind of have this contrast from the verse to the chorus. And also in the beginning, when he's saying, how many times, not the chorus, but at the beginning, it
Yeah,
keeps
yeah.
on slipping away, that part. And then you get to the end of it, and Steve kind of jumps in, never ever ends, and then
Tangle Day. Yeah,
you have that.
yeah.
I just love it
Oh,
so much. So you go from
yeah. I
soft to harsh throughout the song. So I really like that part too.
Yeah, yeah, when I first heard it, I thought, okay, well, this is going to be one of those songs that starts off with a heavy riff, but it's actually going to be quite mellow.
Yeah,
No, and then it gets to the verse where it drops down. You're right; it's got that
yeah,
descending
yeah.
melody line, but it goes right back into that verse, just how you want it, just how you would hope it would go.
It goes
And
back and
yeah, really,
forth a lot.
he really rises to the challenge of being, I guess I'm the lead singer now, so he doesn't just have one voice. He uses all facets of his voice, which is, it couldn't have been easy to go on tour and sing the bulk of the songs,
Mm,
which is why they hired the background vocalist. But I he just gave it all on this album.
yeah, yeah. Wings of Time. What do you think about that one?
I love it. It's more it's up tempo. It's not as, they kind of take the foot off the pedal a little bit, but the chorus is just ethereal, I think. And I know this song also has like a special meaning because I know that there's a lyric in this song that I think is on Jeff Porcaro's gravestone.
Mm,
Um, uh, no, I really like it. It's one that when I first got into the band, when I first got into Toto, it was around the time this album was new, that I started actually buying some of their back catalog. And after Two Hearts, I used to think the album kind of trailed off because I thought that the first five songs were all so good, but this one's really grown on me. It's long. It's quite a long song, but I don't know. I like it. It's I don't know where I'd rank it if I ranked the songs in this album, but I think it'd be in the upper half.
yeah. And also, Steve's voice on this is a bit different to the other songs.
Yeah,
It's not like Two Hearts, where he has this more emotional kind of vocal performance. It's not like Gypsy Train or Don't Shame My Heart, where it's more harsh. This is somewhere in the middle. It's kind
yeah,
of it's slow and it's yeah. And then I also in the chorus I love the like keyboard patterns throughout.
yeah,
Kind of sounds like
yeah,
strings also.
yeah. That's what
So
gives it to me. That gives it that ethereal
yeah,
feel, like
yeah,
you're in the sky, like you're literally in the sky or something.
yeah. And I love at the end where he sings "Wings of Time" and he really holds that note at the end too. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great slower tempo song. I like it. Now we really get to upbeat song. She Knows the Devil. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I have to be honest. I think the chorus is kind of annoying. She knows the devil. I just don't
Yeah.
like it that much. So and I think also it doesn't really fit in with the rest of the album. You have like the previous songs are not like super upbeat like this one. This really sticks out as like the fastest song on the album, except like Jake to the Bone, the instrumental. It's kind of fast that one, but yeah, this one it's really sticks out for me. So I don't really like this one that much, and I think it's kind of repetitive. Also, doesn't really go anywhere for me. So what do you think about this one?
I kind of agree. I like the energy of the song.
Yeah,
It's very repetitive. It's
yeah,
way too repetitive. But one of the most interesting things about this song is the all of the background singers on it. I'm just looking it up here. Like there's some big names on this song. And I don't know if they're all listed or not, but um and of course, they're not listed. But John Fogerty from CCR is on. Bobby Womack, big R&B like singer, guitar player. There's a bunch of other people too that are singing it. But yeah, it's repetitive. But like I said, I do like the energy of it. And maybe it was like this sort of thing. Said, well, we need to do something that's way up tempo. Um, so it's not all, I don't know. It's not one of my favorites. I don't hate it, but it's not one of my favorites. I think that with a little bit of editing and maybe not bring that chorus around so much, it might have been a better song. It's like, yeah, we get it. She knows the devil and the devil knows her. Yeah, I get it. Um, it's kind of a fun jam at the end of it. That they're really leaning into that Toto jamming in the studio side. But yeah, I mean, it's not definitely not them at their best. To me, this is the comparison. I compare this to something like All Us Boys on Hydra.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
that song.
the brains are kind of the brain. The brains are kind of turned down a little bit, and it's all about the playing.
Yeah, and that's the same on the Hydra album. All Us Boys really stands out on that album, and it's
All Us Boys,
really
it's
different.
yeah. I mean, I don't. We don't want to get too off track, but All Us Boys, I just don't buy it coming from those guys,
Yeah,
squealing tires and stuff. It's like you're all, you're all rich kids. You
especially
weren't
when
out
you
there
watch the
doing
video, it's really ridiculous for that song.
it's, and for David Page to sing it, especially,
Yeah,
yeah, it's. I get
yeah,
some humor out of it. It's almost like a novelty song, and I know it wasn't intended as that.
yeah, yeah. Now the other side is one of my favorites. I really enjoy this song. This chorus is probably the most memorable for me on the whole album. I think it's so great. It's really a sing along chorus on this one. I've been watching you from the other
Yeah,
side, and I love the background vocals on this too. There's like a
yeah.
dude in the background singing, and I really enjoy his voice. I don't know who it is, but
I
I
think it
really,
might be Philip Ingram.
yeah, but I
Philip Ingram
really
sang a
enjoy
lot.
that.
Yeah, his brother James Ingram was a fairly well
Yeah.
known R&B singer in the '80s.
Is he the same person that does some of the background vocals on Tambu?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
he wasn't the main. He wasn't the main guy. Like they had a guy and a girl on there, but I
yeah,
think he is on some of the songs.
yeah.
But
Yeah. So yeah, I really it starts off slow, but then it kind of picks up in the chorus, and just really enjoy the song. I think it's a well balanced song, and I think it's a good placement on the album between two energetic songs. And I kind of forgot to mention that "Kick Down the Walls" is also like a super high beat, intense song. But yeah, the other side really good. I like it. What do you think?
the other side, like to me, like Two Hearts, the other side should have been a hit single.
Yeah,
It was a single, but it should have been a hit. It's got that classic. Um, there's a classic Toto beat, and I don't know what you'd call it. It's the Africa beat. It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
they use that on a bunch of songs. Like more recently, I mean, it was an older song, but when they put out the old is new, it's Spanish C has that too.
Yeah.
That has that beat. But no, I think this is fantastic. It's got that lush chorus, and to me, this is probably the most classic sounding Toto song on this album. This could have been most of these songs I couldn't hear on an earlier Toto album. This one I could. To me, this wouldn't have been out of place on Fahrenheit or the Seventh
That was
Wonder.
exactly what I was thinking. Fahrenheit
And I
especially.
also I also think you can hear a little bit in the chorus. You can hear a little bit more David Page on vocals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really enjoy that one. Kick Down the Walls, same as She Knows the Devil for me. A bit better, not as repetitive, not as annoying of chorus. Kind of like it a bit, but not too much. I think She Knows the Devil is definitely the worst song on the album. Then Kick Down the Walls come for me. Don't like it that much, but I think it's all right. It's okay. It's generic. For me, it's very generic. What do you think about this one?
What's interesting, the version of this that I have is a Japanese issue, and in between the other side and kick down the walls is only you.
Okay,
So they're in it's in a different order.
because if you look at the track
Yeah,
listing here, it's different.
yeah. But what's also interesting, and I didn't realize this until I started looking around, kick down the walls is not on all versions of this album worldwide. I didn't know that either
Yeah, I
because it's
didn't
been
know
on
that.
every version of it that I've heard.
Yeah,
But kick down, yeah, it's really interesting when it's almost like um Toto, when they want to, like for lack of a better term, when they want to rock, it's better when they do it at a slower tempo, like Never Enough or even How Many Times. It's more effective. Or upcoming with the title song. When they're too fast, it loses some of the power.
yeah, true.
Great playing, great playing, but it's almost like it's almost like now you're getting into territory where any competent band of musicians could have written these songs. There's nothing very special about them, and they're very similar, and they're very repetitive. Kick down the wall, shake down the building, like over and over again.
Yeah,
Okay, well played, of course, but yeah, when you think you want Toto to do like if you want a really hard rocking Toto, but they work best in that mid tempo range where it's just where instead of like like it sounds too frantic or something. I don't know if that
yeah,
makes any sense, but yeah, to me it's not them at their best. Um, for the most part, I think the album is well sequenced, but yeah, those two songs kind of I could do with. I'm glad they're on here so we can talk about them. I could do without them, whereas the rest of the songs, no, gotta have them.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Now the next one, Only You. I think this is really beautiful song, great vocal performance. I think this is one of the more emotional songs since I'll Be Over You. So
Yeah,
yeah, really enjoy this one. But also, you go from like She Knows the Devil, super high beat, fast song. The other side, slower. Kick Down the Walls, fast. Only You, slower. King of Desire, somewhere in between. And then you get to a faster one at the end. So it kind of goes back and forth at the later half of
yeah.
the album. So yeah, I like it very much, but it kind of drags on a bit, and it's brings down the energy of the album quite a lot. I think this song could have been earlier on the album, maybe on like side two somewhere there. So you could have gone from maybe the other side or Kick Down the Walls straight into the title track. I think that would have worked better. Did you say that Only You was earlier on your copy of the album?
Yeah, and your track listing makes more sense because on the CD I have, it's the other side right into Only You, so it's two ballads right in a row,
Yeah,
and they're both good, and they were both singles,
yeah,
uh, parts of the world. But yeah, it's really weird to go from so mine is She Knows the Devil, the other side Only You, then Kick Down the Walls, then Kingdom of Desire. And I think, like you said, that sort of yo-yo back and forth with the tempos might be why I think the album starts off stronger than it ends, but it's
yeah,
actually quite good all the way through. But I think the pacing, the sequencing could have been. I wouldn't want to change the order that those first really the first five songs, but you could have had. I don't know. You could have had one of those. She knows the devil or kick down the walls in between two hearts and wings of time, and it might not have seemed so jarring.
yeah,
But for the other, the other side, then only you, and they're very similar in tempo.
yep,
They're not that different. So you know, both good, but yeah, they should have been separated. Even more than just by one song, but never mind. Like they should definitely not have been butted together.
yeah, exactly. Now, the title track. I think this is probably one of my favorite Toto songs of all time. One of, not the, but one of my favorites. Really, really enjoy this one. Heavy, just that riff at the beginning. It starts off more quiet. You hear the riff, it's stripped down. Then the drums kick in and just hell yeah. And just Steve's vocals on this. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah,
Really, this is the only Toto song I would describe as a badass. This is just
yeah,
such a cool song. And this is the song I think at the end where it really like breaks down and you have like Steve almost not growling, but you have hear this like scream at the end. Sounds and just everything just collapses. The whole sound just collapses. I think this is
yeah.
just such a cool song. Yeah, really, really cool. And this is a song I don't mind the length of it at all. I really like this
Oh,
one.
yeah. It needs to be. It's an epic. It needs to
Yeah,
be that long.
yeah.
What's really interesting about it is that this song was written by Danny Kortchmar, who Steve has worked with many times, and he's somebody that's worked with Don Henley and I think Tom Petty, and like he's worked with a lot of big names. But this is completely outside, like it's an outside song, which Toto didn't normally do, but it fits. and it totally fits. It sounds like it was written for Steve to sing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, again, he's using different parts of his voice on this song again, this late into the album. It's got some blues in it. You
Yeah.
know, I've been stabbed in the back, babe. Like
Yeah.
he's got kind of a bluesy tune, but that chorus is huge. Yeah, I love that riff, that sort of octave riff. It's a strange tuning that I've seen somebody play it. It's a really weird tuning that it's in, but this is one they've done live. Like they did this live a lot over the years, and I'm
Yeah.
glad. It's a great, and it's so interesting that there's an outside song and they liked it well enough not only to record it but to name the album after it.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I love it. It's by this time I'm back into the album. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is it kind of. I wonder if it wouldn't have made more sense, if we're talking about like a two-sided record or a cassette. It almost would have made more sense to end side one or to end the entire album.
That's
But
yeah.
hey, wherever they place it is fine with me
I would have definitely ended it, the album with this song.
because it's a very
Definitely.
definitive statement. Although
Yeah.
it is the last vocal track.
Yeah. But having an instrumental at the end, I've never liked that. Having an instrumental as the last song, or not song, but the last track, just don't feel like that makes any sense at all.
No, they could have put that. They could have moved that and separated the other side and only you a little bit more by putting Jake to the Bone in there.
Yeah,
But
very true.
dun, 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 like it's a great instrumental,
Yeah,
and this is when you
yeah,
want to hear. Yeah, like lest anyone think Toto is a pop band, play this. So these guys have the most insane chops. Oh, I just want to go back to the song "Kingdom of Desire" for a bit.
yeah,
Another
yeah,
thing, it's again knowing what to play for the song. When it kicks in, Mike Piccaro on the bass, just do, just those steady eight quarter notes. That's all this, or eighth notes, I guess. That's all that song needs. Doesn't need a flashy bass line.
yeah,
They just know what to do, and it just helps drive. And that's a heavier Toto. And again, it's a slower tempo, but that's what they do best when they want to put a really hard rocking song together.
mm,
Don't play it too fast.
yeah,
So anyway, but I think Jake to the Bone is just a really cool. I mean, and then you hear them do it live and they nail it, and it's that's pretty classic Toto as well.
yeah. But I think that track is too long for me. Jake to the Bone is
It
too
goes
long.
on, yeah, it goes again. Here we've talked about this. This was their first album to come out in the CD age, so I
Yeah,
think that length was not a concern to them. And actually, this Japanese version I have has one more song on it.
does it?
It's a cover. It's a cover. It's got a live version of Jimi Hendrix's Little Wing, which is
Interesting.
from I've got to get this. I don't actually have this concert CD, but the Live in Montreux, 1991.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
That's where some of the songs come from that are on the Toto XX, like "I'm on the Run." But yeah, there is a you can get that on CD, and that's where this comes from. And I mean, it's good. It's not part of the album, but it's cool to have it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now we move on to the next album, the first album to feature Simon Phillips on
Yeah,
drums, and it's Tambu. So this album has been a favorite in my family for a lot of years. My father, he says this is the best Toto album in his opinion. Like he just really enjoys Steve's voice. I think King of Desire is a good album for him, but I think he thinks it's a bit too heavy in some parts. And I Will Remember was like a big deal when it came out. And that's a song that has always been a favorite in my family. Just really enjoy that song. And yeah, I just love the cover of this too. Just such a
yeah,
cool cover, kind of like this Indiana Jones inspired type explorer type of
yeah.
cover.
It's a really good cover, and I don't know how familiar you are with Alice Cooper,
I'm
but
not a fan.
he has an album in 1977 called Lace and Whiskey, And it's very, very similar because the idea was that he was like a private detective from the 1940s,
Mm.
and it's presented as if it was a book
Yeah,
on a desk. So it's very similar. It's in black and white. But yeah, I like the whole. It's almost like they're to make you think it's a concept album of sorts, and
yeah,
it's really not. But yeah, it really makes you want to hear the contents of it. I haven't got a lot of the more recent albums on vinyl. This one's really expensive to find. I hope they reissue it, but it would look cool on vinyl.
yeah. And this is an album that we have had in our car on CD for so many years. I've heard a lot of it throughout the years, and I've kind of grown tired of it as time has gone on. So I don't like it as much as I did. I actually prefer King of Desire and even Minefields over this one. So I've really grown to like this in the last like month or so. So yeah, so I don't like it as much as I did, but I think Gift of Faith is a great opener. Same as Gypsy Train, really good choice as opening song. And yeah, yeah, just really enjoy it. What do you think?
I think Gift of Faith is good. Gift of Faith is probably the only song on this album that would have fit on Kingdom of Desire. I think this is a much mellower album overall.
Yeah,
It is probably more like the type of album that, a longtime Toto fan would have wanted to hear. I mean, to me, this is much more in the vein of something like Fahrenheit, um, you know, because it's got a lot of R&B on it. But I think it's quite good. And Simon Phillips is like inhumanly good on the
mhm,
drums. I mean, he's played with everybody, and he's still amazing. Just see him play, and he plays the most complicated stuff, and it makes it look so easy. So they couldn't have made a much better choice for someone to replace Jeff Beccaro, and he always played those older songs respectfully.
yeah,
I also like how when you go through the CD booklet, they really play on that book idea because they make each lyric look like a chapter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's cool design. I will remember. I have not looked at the chart position or anything like that in preparation, but I feel like it would have been really high because this is a signature song for Toto. This is a song that is played live throughout the years and is a definite fan favorite. So if you would ask someone name a song from Tambu, they would probably say that one. So
Yeah.
yeah, really really good song. As you said, Simon Phillips, really great replacement for Jeff Porcaro, even though really you can't really replace Jeff
No.
Porcaro because he's such a
all you can
legendary
do is
drummer.
all you can do is have somebody sit in his seat,
Yeah,
really.
but that beginning of I Will Remember with the drums, do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do, I
There's
just
a there's a
love that.
clip of him out there showing what he does there.
Yeah,
When you're listening to it, you just kind of take it for granted. It's this sort of tribal beat or whatever, but it's
yeah,
very complicated.
yeah, yeah. Really cool song. And yeah, I think this is probably one of Steve Lukather's best vocal performances throughout the whole
Yeah,
catalog. Really, really good song. So,
I
are you
agree.
familiar with the chart position of this song? Was it a big single?
It's very, very disappointing. It only charted in the UK, I think, and it only hit number 64, which shows just bands like this were just not in favor anymore. But it's great. It's a powerful, powerful ballad. Yeah, it's Steve's vocal is just so impassioned, and I don't know if it's about Jeff Beccaro. I tend to think that it is,
Yeah,
um, but that just kind of adds to it. But yeah, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a total classic. Yeah, it's interesting that they obviously felt strongly enough about it to make it the second song, but it's like, oh, it's a ballad already. It's like, yeah, but listen to it. It's not just a ballad. It's a really, really good ballad.
yeah, yeah. What do you think of Slipped Away?
I can think how the chorus goes. Is that the one that starts out? Dan, 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 dan,
Yeah,
dan, dan? Okay, this. I like this album more now than I did when it came out. When I remember when it came out, I was thinking that it just sounded too out of character for Toto. Not as much as the past to present songs, but it's when Steve's not singing, it doesn't sound like Toto at all to me. Those they got some great singers on here, and I know why they did it because people are used to hearing Toto with multiple singers. It just doesn't sound like Toto. But um, kind of the chorus makes everything worthwhile, and it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and
It really
also
slipped away, and then it goes into this big chorus, and then it drops back down. Dan, 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 dan.
yeah, and also in the chorus, Steve Lukather is not like the main vocalist in just that part.
Exactly,
He just sings "When You
exactly.
Slipped Away," and then there's another voice. I can't really
Yeah.
recognize it. Is it one of the background vocalists that does
I
it?
think it is. I think it is John and Jenny. Yeah, John. Uh, so Jenny Douglas McCrae, John James are the two main singers. They're even like they've got them pictured here.
Yeah, I just have to say they
Um,
did a great job on this album. They're
oh yeah, yeah,
their presence is really felt throughout the album. Like they
yeah.
they appear during like most of the songs, and I enjoy that part because it's kind of different. You had some stuff on Kingdom of Desire that had some really prevalent background vocals, but I think this album really sticks out. There's a lot of that stuff. So yeah, I enjoy it. I think they have nice voices. Um, if You Belong to Me, I like this one too. Um, Also a kind of slower tempo song, and Steve, as usual, really great. Love the chorus of the song, but it's, how should I say? It kind of feels like you're losing some steam here. It feels like this song sounds like any like mid-tempo Toto song. It could have been on like King of Desire or any other album. I don't think it really sticks out that much. It's kind of generic, I have to say. So even though I think it's a good song, it's not a great song, in my opinion. What do you think of this
I'd
one?
I'd have to yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And to me, this is where the album it starts to drag tempo wise. And to me, it takes a while before it picks back up.
Mm,
So I think that's one of the reasons. Like, whereas for the most part, Kingdom of Desire just keeps your interests all the
yeah,
way through.
yeah,
But I understand as far as getting the background vocals, I think they didn't want not want to deal with another search for a lead vocalist. So they kind of went sideways. Instead of getting a lead vocalist, let's get some background vocalists to augment
yeah,
Lukather's vocals. So
yeah.
I think that's what they did here. I mean, I think the results varied, but they're never going to hire anybody that's not talented. So yeah, definitely, good performances all around on here. But yeah, If You Belong to Me, this I don't want to say it's the kind of song that Steve could do in his sleep, but it does kind of sound like that. You know what I mean? Like say, oh, you need a song, here's a song. And it's good. It's just not great, like you
Yeah.
said.
I'm not too familiar with Steve Lukather's solo stuff. I have his album from I think '88 or something that's just called Steve Lukather.
That's his
Or
first one. Yeah.
Lukather or something. It's just called that.
Yeah.
I don't have any other albums. I don't think all of them are available to stream either. So I've not heard many of them. But I think If You Belong to Me sounds like it could have been on a Steve Lukather solo album almost.
Well, see, now you're getting into a point where in between, like there's starting to be more years in between Toto albums, and most of these guys do solo stuff. So I think the lines are getting blurred between what would work for a solo album and what would work for a Toto album. The only album of his that I have is the last one he put out in 2023 called Bridges. I bought that because, as far as I'm concerned, that's a Toto album. They just couldn't call it Toto. But I mean, Steve does sing all the songs on it. That certainly happened before. But Paige is on it. Joseph Williams is on it. Lee Sklar is on it. Shannon Forrest is on it. All like most of the players on it are Toto personnel at one time or another. It sounds like Toto,
Yeah.
so I consider it a Toto album.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I think you should check that one out if you can still get it. That's
Okay.
the other thing is like a lot of these albums are on different like smaller labels throughout the world and they're only available for a short time. But if you can find that Bridges album, to me, that may go on to be the last Toto album.
and it being the most recent one, I'm guessing it's available to stream. But I thought the latest Toto album would be available to stream, but Toto 14 nowhere
Oh,
to be
and that is
seen at
such a
all.
that's such a tragedy. That
Yeah,
needs a reissue in the worst way.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, Baby He's Your Man. Now, the bass on this, I just immediately like, oh my god, there's some bass to this song. And yeah, I kind of like this one. It's groovy, and you really have those background vocalists present in the chorus. Baby He's Your Man in the background.
Well, this is practically a duet.
Yeah, and they kind of answer to what Stevie's singing also, and I really enjoy
Yeah.
that one. I think it's a really
It's like
good
it's
song.
like a conversation.
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of
Um,
different also to Toto, so I enjoy it. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, this isn't my favorite side of Toto's sound, but I do like it. To me, um, this harkens back all the way to something like Georgie Porgy, which has never been a song that I've liked. I just never cared for that song, and
I love it.
I don't know why it gets all. I don't know why it gets the like. Anyway, but I do like this one.
Mhm.
It- but is it a Toto song? I don't know, but I do like it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I think it would only fit on this album.
yeah, yeah, very true. The other end of time, also kind of this emotional, more ballady type of song. I like the beat or whatever you should call it, that
Yeah,
in the background. I like that, and also the piano in the beginning, really nice. Steve's voice, great as usual. Stuff really good. I quite like this song actually, even though like this side, because it's at side one, side two, because it's a replica of the vinyl. Um,
yeah,
this side of the album, bit slower, bit more
very much.
mid-tempo type
Yeah.
of stuff. But I think it works. I think it works really. If You Belong to Me, not so much, but I think Baby Is Your Man and The Other End of Time works very fine for me. So yeah.
I like it, but I really think by this point in the album, we could have really used a more rocking song somewhere in here because really, so far, Gift of Faith has been the only thing I would call a rock song. I Will Remember is kind of a rock ballad,
Mhm.
but that those are the first two songs. Now we're at the, we're halfway through the album and we haven't had anything else that's got much of a pulse to it.
Yeah.
But on their own, good songs.
Yeah, this album kind of drags on a bit, and
Yeah.
also we could speak about the length of these albums too. I just prefer 40 to max 50-minute albums. This is like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Minefield is
Now the
just ridiculous. It's like 80 minutes.
oh Now the version of Tambu you have, how many songs are on it?
It's just says 1, 2, 3 on the sides, and it says 1, 2, 3 on the next side. So I have to count, but it does have Black Eye on it, so it has the bonus
Okay,
track.
because my I didn't know mine doesn't, and I didn't know about that song until just a few years ago.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, we'll get
Well,
there.
this CD is from the All In box set. All of these that I'm
Oh yes,
showing are
okay.
from the All In box set. So they have the bonus tracks. The same on Minefields. It has Spanish Steps,
And it
for
steps to
example.
Rome, yeah. Now that's
So
interesting. When you hold the booklet up, it looks different too. The way it's written on the
yeah,
side,
yeah,
it's like double.
this is supposed
Mine's
to
only written.
yeah, this is supposed to replicate the vinyl. So this is exactly how the vinyl looks,
Oh,
but in miniature
okay.
form. So that's
I've got
how
a
I did
UK.
most of these. But
Yeah,
I do have
mine's a
Tambo up
UK
there.
CD.
I do have the regular versions up there, and they are the same as
Yeah,
yours.
yeah,
So yeah. Finally, we get to a more upbeat song, The Turning Point. Really enjoy this
yeah.
one. This should have been after Baby Is Your Man, maybe. You could have flipped The Other End of Time and this one. Just flip those two. You would have had a more better paced album. Let's just say that. So yeah,
Better sequence.
yeah, better sequence.
Yeah,
I just really
I
enjoyed
agree.
Turning Point. I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand with um, Kick Down the Walls and She Knows the Devil, more upbeat song, really drives. And yeah, I like it, but it's not as upbeat and fast as those songs on King Knows Desire. But I still like that we have some more fast paced stuff on this because so far, as you said, Gift of Faith is the only real rocking song up to this point.
Yeah,
Really drags
and
it
it's
on.
slow.
Yeah,
It's a slow. It's like da 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 da. Like so,
yeah.
the BPMs we really haven't had much for BPMs.
Yeah. So this is the first song that really uh, goes up the BPMs there. Yeah. So I enjoyed this one. What do you think?
I like it. Yeah, the turning point. I like it. I like it better than either of those songs on Kingdom of Desire that are this
Me
sort of
too.
song.
Me
I
too.
think this is a much better. It's just a much
Yeah.
better song.
Agreed.
Better
Absolutely.
written, better performed. Like it's just better.
And then we get to the next couple of songs and we get the same issue as before the turning point. So I would have felt like, okay, it's the turning point, literally. We should have more up,
Yeah,
faster, upbeat kind of song. And we get back to the same issue as before.
yeah.
So yeah. And I think after the turning point, it literally is a turning point for the album because I think it gets worse from here. Not as memorable for me at least. Time is the enemy. Meh. Okay. And don't cry for me. Time is the enemy. I like the chorus on that song. The rest of it, I can barely remember, to be honest.
I was just thinking that I can remember the hook of the chorus, but that's it. And usually Toto songs are constructed in such a way that all parts of the song are a hook and you
Mm.
remember them. So, look, it can't be easy to do, obviously, but yeah, it's just not in the upper, you know.
You have to remember, I said before, this is a CD that has been living in my car for many years. But I think I have played like track 1 to the turning point is track 7, I think. I played those songs quite a lot. The rest of it, barely. So that says quite a lot about the rest of the album, for me at least, in my opinion. Dragon to the Roof, again, now you have a more fast song. Really generic. It's repetitive. Same issue as She Knows the Devil for me and Kick Down the Walls. Don't like this one.
Well, I agree with the points you're making. This might be my favorite song on the album, with the exception of I Will Remember. I love that chorus. Drag him to the roof. I hear a little David Paich in it, and I love his
Mm.
voice. And it's about the only time you can really hear him on here. And what I like is that the chorus, I don't think the chorus comes around too many times this time. I think it's just enough times. I know it's a fast one, but it's almost like that nimble, jazzy fast, not the She Knows the Devil. I just think this is something a little bit better. But there's something about that chorus that gets in my head. It's a perfect day to punish me. I like the lyrics too. The lyrics they've gotten really good at lyrics. The lyrics are kind of above par too. Um, but that's just me. I just think it's definitely one of the better songs on the second half.
Interesting. Now, Just Can't Get to You. More of a ballady, more slower song again. Also generic. Just, I think it really loses some steam after the turning point. I just feel like it's not the same. And yeah, it just doesn't work. And also not memorable. I can barely like
No.
remember these songs.
I can just remember the just can't get to you, babe.
Yeah,
Like that's it.
yeah.
And it's like on sorry, on this album, did we really need another song like this? We've already had, you know, other and better examples of this type of song. It didn't need to be another slower like R&B type of ballad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's so, and I know they didn't intend it that way, but there's a certain irony that like you said, the turning point is literally the turning point.
Mm, yeah. And I think actually, it's, instead of having time is the enemy after the turning point, it would have worked much better to have Dragon to the Roof. Then maybe time is the enemy. Then Dave's Gone Skiing. And then you could have had Just Can't Get to You, and then the road goes on, and so on. So just the sequencing of the album could have been different, I feel.
Or made Just Can't Get to You the bonus track. You know what I mean? Because we'll get to it. I'm not the biggest fan of that song, Black Eye, but it's interesting. It's different. It stands out. But
I have to be honest, I can't remember how that song goes. And I could
okay,
say,
so what I really did not realize is that they kind of tease the fact that there's a bonus song because on this original
I
CD,
remember seeing this, yeah.
there's
Yeah.
part of like it's like, well, what does that even say? And then
Yeah.
once you know what to look for, it's like, oh, it's covering up the lyrics to Black. And so I went on YouTube and let's do it. Tempo wise, it reminds me of Come Together by the Beatles or Aerosmith. Like it's that kind of tempo, um, but it's different. It's not like it's not another R&B ballad. Like I think they should have made that part of the main album just because people are like, wow, it's kind of experimental
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. Now getting back to the previous track, what do you think about Dave's Gone Skiing? This instrumental, very, very fast, similar to Jake to the Bone. What do you think?
Yeah, and this one, yeah, it is similar to the fact to point where I can't even think of how this one goes. I know it. I
Yeah.
could think of Jake to the Bone,
Yeah.
but Dave's Gone Skiing. I know as soon as it would come on, I'm like, oh yeah, that one, but I can't think of how it goes.
This one is really chaotic. It goes like
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
This one,
yeah.
it's
It's
even
almost
fast.
it's almost progressive.
Yeah, and
Like it's some
then
crazy playing in
in
it.
some parts it goes really fast, and you have the piano ding 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 in the background.
Yes.
So I actually kind of like this one more than Jake to the Bone in some ways. I think it's Jake to the Bone, really long, really doesn't go anywhere. Same maybe could be said about this one, but I like the faster pace of this one. It feels like it's going somewhere. So yeah, I kind of like it actually. So yeah, and also it's not the last
I
track.
don't dislike it. It's just amazing to hear these guys when they get to be the players,
Yeah,
not the, I don't want to say hit makers, but they get to be players as opposed to, song crafters.
yeah,
This isn't a song.
yeah.
This is a jam.
The road goes on. I have nothing to say about that because I can't remember how it goes. Well, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, the road goes on and on. To me, this is a lesser version of I Will Remember. Very similar lyrically, not nearly as good. It's just Steve sings it, and it's kind. I think this one's more acoustic. They have done it live. I think it's on the 40 Tours Around the Sun, the double live album they put out. It's okay, but yeah, it kind of fizzles out. The album kind of fizzles out.
Even though I don't think this song is memorable, I like that they didn't end on the instrumental like they did on Kingdom of Desire. So I think that's a
Yeah,
positive to this one. Black Eye, you
yeah.
already kind of touched on that one, and yeah, I don't really have much to add to that one. So yeah, so Tambu, it's kind of like a very mixed album. Some really good stuff, some not so good stuff, some stuff in between. I think it's not as consistent as Kingdom of Desire. I think this is a much more consistent album, even though it has some of
Oh, yeah.
the lesser songs, She Knows the Devil, Kick Down the Walls. But I still think this is way more consistent than this one. So
Yeah.
a step down for Toto, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think I think the first two songs on Tambu are as good as anything they've ever done.
Yeah, agreed.
After
Agreed.
that, it's really a mixed bag.
Yeah, yeah.